All right. What is this? Do we need this stuff? No. All right, let me make sure. Yeah. That's sound from the microphone. We don't have any other sound. That's sound playing. I'm watching a concert on Twitch, but I have noise gate on the microphone so it doesn't pick it up. But you can still hear me talking, hopefully. Please stop climbing the window, buddy. Alright. Hopefully, there will be no more cats climbing any more windows. So I'm jumping straight in. I'm basically gonna follow up on a few of the PRs. No, buddy, get down, please. And one more time. We're going to follow up on some of the PRs from yesterday that we've been working on in the last couple of days. And then I want to play with the new TileGrid feature to set bitmaps. But I want to check in on these first, because I think some of them are ready to merge. We're going to go here. Oh my goodness. This cat. Please get down. Okay, we will try with the window open so we cannot reach the top of it for a while. Let's see how this works. I think networks. I think we're ready here. So we tested this yesterday. One thing I found was that it needed to catch a different kind of error for the pipe portal. Yeah, and that's basically the exact same thing I did. I guess I will do one more quick check. I don't know, it's always good, I guess, if I'm gonna merge it. Let's, oh, come on, go back to there. Okay. Let's just check it out one more time. Run the test we did yesterday, and then as long as we're good, we can go ahead and merge this one. Portal base. I don't know, can I pull? I don't think I can pull this. Oh, I'm on a different branch anyway. I guess if I just check it out again with this. Update. Is this tab complete? No. That'd be nice, huh? Multiple Wi-Fi. Full Wi-Fi. Update? Need to update? Update canceled. Can't update. No tracked branch. We're from the latest version. Where was that change? This was in 367 network. Okay, yeah, it did update. The mistake is like, I would have had a branch with this name already, but I guess it deleted it, slash overwrote it, slash whatever it did, it figured it out. So we have the latest version. Oh, you know what I didn't do is disable the chat on YouTube. Sorry, folks on YouTube. The YouTube chat leaves a lot. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll pop it out and try to keep an eye on it. And if we get weird spam, then I will just turn it off. But if not, then I'll leave it on. Hopefully we can not have weird spam in the YouTube chat. So we need to grab this. We need to put it on the root, which we learned yesterday for sure not to put it in lib. Let's go here. Let's delete it. Have it? No, it's up here. I got tricked by that yesterday. Delete it. Paste it. Actually, let's make sure it fails for... Well, it's not going to fail for not having it, actually, because it's frozen in. So let's just paste it. And what did we test? ISS tracker. This is what we did. Copy this. What is this? I don't need this. This is basically this. Okay, yeah, pretty much. Don't need that. And I gotta pull this over because I need to look at secrets. All right, so let me, let's do this. This, and then let me actually do this as well. Move this. Okay. So we have one bad network and then one good network after it. Because I mean, I didn't explain it today, so if you didn't watch yesterday, you don't have the context, but this PR is checking for multiple networks using the portal-based library. If your project uses the portal-based library, which lots of the ones in Learn Guides do, like anything using PyPortal library or Matrix Portal or MagTag, there's a bunch of different ones. Those all use portal base. It's like a sort of easy to use beginner level wrapper around a bunch of different functionality so that you can just kind of instantiate one object and then have a bunch of functions that do a bunch of different things without necessarily having to care too much about what kind of objects they are or how they work or stuff like that. It provides just an easier interface to not have to learn all of that stuff from the ground up, but to still be able to make really neat IoT projects and stuff, fetch data from something online and then show it on the screen formatted in some fancy way. Kind of roughly what they all do. And this is allowing it to check multiple networks. It used to be it just looks inside CircuitPy for the only network, I should say. With this new version, it will look at networks as a list, and it will try all the ones in the list. There is a retry count. I think it tries like 10 times for each one. And so it does take it a minute, because there's also a delay built in as well. But it does retry. And we could always change the delay or the retry count later on if we wanted it to be shorter. The main thing we want to know is just the functionality. Does it correctly cycle through the networks? So we are connecting to the not real one. This is not a real network, as the name says, although I would probably name a network that name, so not guaranteed, I suppose. But yeah, we basically wait 3 seconds for each of these, and I think there's 10 of them, so we got a little bit. And then as long as it does connect to the actual network after this and pull the location of the ISS, then I think we're good to go here. I guess maybe one other test I'll do is I'll remove networks all the way. That way we make sure the old functionality is still exactly the same as well. That's a good thing we should do. Yeah, I'll do that as well afterwards. That one we won't have to wait any time for. Well, I mean, normal request time, but while that's going, let me pull up the camera. I don't know why it's not gonna ever remember the new camera IP. I mean, it's gonna change again at some point. It's weird though, because it saved the old IP. And I change it every time I use it now to the new IP. It's pretty good. All right, how are we looking? Got a couple. 5-ish, 6, 7. Let me look into a couple of the other PRs. There's a few. Let's go back here. Okay, this one merged. I was gonna look at this. That's not one I looked at before. Multiple cookies we did merge. RSA, I think TechTrick did address all of our feedback, so I'll check this one over again. Oh, okay, so it did hop on the real network. It got the time, it got the ISS. We got our pinpoint, so we're good to go. So one more thing I'll do, which I gotta pull this off again. Over here. We're gonna, I wish you could make comments in JSON. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, yeah, I'm gonna change this to not networks. That way it won't find it. Oh, I should double check also. Okay, yeah, that's a real network. Close this, bring it back. There we go. So this time I do not have the new list. I just have the original SSID and password. And it did work. We did jump on the network. We fetched the time. We fetched the ISS. So we're good to go. Okay, so let's go back here. So we want to go back to files, right? Okay. Let's put it here on PyPortal. All right, we're still definitely. Yeah, this is nice. I have a directional microphone, which I guess helps a lot too. Probably do this instead of headphones sometimes. Okay. Merge this. Make a release too. This is definitely at least middle number, I think, because this is like a brand new feature. I've heard lots of folks who want this feature also, by the way. Eventually it'd be good to put this in requests. Does requests try to connect itself? Anyway, eventually it'd be good to have this in contexts that aren't portal based as well. I don't know if that's inside requests or if that's like ESP32 spy library? I forget the exact way the code works if you don't use portal base. No, you don't need to go up there, buddy. I know, but it's the same stuff, and you can't even see out it anymore. It's not even really a window anymore. Yeah. Do this one here. No. Okay. Let's see. Let's say supports. I don't know, are these actually dictionaries in JSON, or are they just objects? Hold a list of dictionaries with SSID and password. Freeze. We'll try each network in the list in succession. Definitely middle number, I think, at least. I mean, it's not breaking, right? Because it still behaves the same if you don't want to use it. But it is a new feature. It's a pretty sweet new feature, actually, I will say. Let's see. Okay, RSA was this one. I think most of what I said was like literals, right? Yeah. Oh, and the one return here? Yeah. Just click through these, be able to see the changes. There's the one that's returning. Okay. I'll take a quick look. This one, as I recall, yeah, it's really long. I'm not gonna go all the way through it because I did look through this entire thing yesterday. But I will take a quick gander back over it and just make sure nothing else is jumping out to me. Oh, these need doubles? Hmm. This one was big. What's the difference in using the actual like type objects from imports versus the strings? I guess the strings are in the file that it's declared in, maybe? One of the other ones were strings of those classes. I don't actually know the difference. I've seen both, though. And we're probably looking pretty good here. We're pretty close to the bottom. A couple extra new lines here. And the docs. I'll be curious to see what the docs look like. Yeah, we'll be able to see it after merges, though. I guess, I mean, we could build it locally, but... Oh. Wrong thing there. Here we go. Oh, that's a little loud, isn't it? So we'll do that now. Go here. This one I think is minor because no functionality changes. On currently. Go 128. Get down, buddy. The window's open. Can't like grab and hang off of them. Way up there. Okay. Nope. Doesn't want to stay. Check it. Eight. 7, 1, 2, 8. What are the main ones? So I put this one and it did get approved. Could merge it. I think I'll. Somebody else is gonna look at it or see if let's test it. This one kind of depends on this one. Okay, those are the main ones. So I want to play with this. Is not merged yet, but is looking pretty close, I think. And what I want to do with it today. I want to make buttons with it. The first use case I had in mind for this was the tab layout that I've been working on. But I have other ideas for this as well, including buttons. And I think today is the day I'm going to work on some buttons. And so one of the coolest things about this functionality is like today the buttons we have are, and when I say button I mean like display button on the screen. So today we have this library, which is the docs, not the library. Play button, GitHub. Oh, please. Down, please. I don't think there's pictures in here. I could run the simple test though, I guess, real fast. Yeah, let's just do that. I can do. Oh, here's our. I'll check in with the ISS. I was baffled by how fast this was. Oh, I closed it. Well, okay, hold on, let me do this. Select video mode, we're already in the video mode. Here's how long, this is how far the ISS has moved since I first loaded this. Like, more than the entire height of North America. They're like halfway into South America, and they started almost up at Alaska. That is insane. This back. All right, now that we've checked in the ISS, we're gonna paste this buttons. Do I have this? I don't know. Let's see. Library and stuff. Nope. Extra keyword. What's that? 26. Keyword. Oh, really? That's in the example? Hold on. Hold on. Light rabbit hole. Is that in the example? There is. Look at that. Yeah, wow. Alright, well, we should fix that, I guess. 1, 2. X. Oh, okay, that's good. One doesn't have a. Well, okay, it has a group, but it's inside here, and it's called Splash. Should keep that open. Alright, well, I fixed it here. We can save it. We can run it. So I can show you what this does, basically. This one does. Nope. Gotta do another one. 40. Position? Keyword argument given position. No, it doesn't say position. Extra keyword. But line 40. This certainly thinks it's extra. It used to have position and it doesn't anymore. I know it has X and Y. They default to 0 anyway, though, honestly. So if we take this off, this work the same. This I don't. Well, yeah, this still won't work. Position. I don't think that exists. Where'd it come from? Yeah, it used to have that. I mean, there's X. We can do like this, comma this. Format. Oh, yeah, that's true. We have something though. I could just change the font. Almost there, promise. Let's go Helvetica. Is this in the repo? Honestly, we shouldn't be in the simple test, honestly. Simple test shouldn't be with fonts in there. It should just be basic. Not in there. Does it use fonts? Doesn't. Besides printing them. Actually found the 2 fonts. No, please stay down, buddy. I think simple test, we should just use this, and then if we want to advanced test or we want a custom font test, then we have custom font. And convert built-in. Oh, please get down, buddy. Yeah, I guess I can't, like... Alright, finally we got some buttons here, okay. So this library draws color, like color and shape buttons. You can add, there's a couple of different styles. There's rounded, there's square, there's like shadowy under the bottom there, and they'll touch as well. They're kind of small. Let me get the stylus. Nope, there's also the janky. We have lost YouTube chat privileges. Oh, thank you, anyone watching with YouTube. If you like using YouTube chat, you would like to use YouTube chat for this stream, please, I guess, try to get YouTube to not let them post stuff like this, because obviously nobody wants this on their video. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to interact through YouTube, I apologize, but I don't want to just spend a bunch of time deleting stuff like this. This is not ridiculous, frankly. Report it as if this actually matters. It's so obvious too. This is what frustrates me the most about this, is like, this is not like tricky, oh, we got around the spam filter. This is like the most obvious spam that has ever spammed. If this spam were any more spam, it would be in a pan with rounded edges. Be a really salty meat product. Okay. What we were actually trying to do. Stuff. That is bored of the windows for a few minutes. Interesting. So the this is probably set up for a PyPortal instead of a PyPortal Titano. Yeah. Here we could actually, it could be better though, right? Because we can just do this and then it won't. Oh wait, no, this is wrong place. Let's see, where do we do the touchscreen? Screen right here. This width, height. This way it doesn't matter. You can still get better too if you run the calibrator and you get good values for your specific touchscreen here, but these are probably good enough. So you can see these buttons support 2 states. I don't know why they're code. What does the actual code say here? These seem a little jumpy. Loop through the buttons. If the button contains the point, put the thing, put selected true. I suspect this probably wants at least a teensy little bit of sleep to make this less jittery and weird. Try that. Doesn't Yeah, this logic is not quite right, I guess. Well, it's not a matter of right or wrong, I guess. It doesn't do what I expected it to do. Basically, they don't become unselected. So the problem here is, well, not the problem, again. The reason why it's not behaving as I'm expecting, which is that it would change back to default when I let go, right? When I lift the stylus up or finger or whatever it is. The reason it's not doing that is, here's the logic. Do we have a touch point? Well, no. Get the touch point from the hardware. Whether or not anything is actually being touched, we're basically looking it up from the hardware, the touch overlay. We get that, we store it in P. If P is not none, that's what this says basically. If P is not none, then we go inside of here. When nothing is touching, P will be none. Therefore, we will not go inside of this if statement when nothing is touching. So if we imagine what happens is the stylus comes down. As soon as the stylus touches, as soon as this realizes it and P is not none, we go inside of here. We print this. We loop over all the buttons. If the current button contains the point, we print this, and we set this to selected true. If the current button does not contain the point, i.e. all the other 4 buttons, because there's 5 buttons total, so, you know, well, yeah, there's 5 buttons total. If one contains the point, this will end up setting it to true. For all the ones that don't contain the point, including all of them if the point was outside of all of them, then this will say false. So if we touch outside, like here, this will go back to unpressed. But if we think about it, when we release, P goes back to being none. Therefore, we don't go inside of here anymore. Therefore, nothing ever is setting selected back to false. So if we wanted the behavior that I was expecting, it would actually be else if P was none. Then loop the buttons again and just set them all to false. So if there's no touch, then set them all to false. And in this case, we're constantly setting them to false, which feels redundant, but is probably okay. If we wanted to have like debouncing, we could add that. Still a little bit jittery, honestly. So I'm going to say it's likely that just my touchscreen calibration, probably the rest of the cause of this. Because I ran this before. Well, EcoCat maybe? I do still want to go back and update the NicoCat. I have not done that. Operation passed in. So is that the same as... Well, no. This is the button one. EcoCat. See, I'm trying to reuse the calibration I got last time. Calibration config goes inside config, which comes from Nico config, I think. Yeah. That one looks the same. 200, 59,000, 5,800, 57,000. Yeah. looks the same. What did I use touch for? Maybe it wasn't on this. Maybe it was on the other Pi portal, I guess. Oh, must have been on the other one. Or Winamp? Winamp? No, those are default too. Alright, well, we can run it. This. Maybe I just pasted this on here one day, but haven't used it yet. Looks like it's set up for a different display. Well, STMP. Yeah. Could be the Z threshold. Is that on the button or? Z thread. Well, let's see. It's printing, I think. Z's, right? Yeah, here. These are the Z's. Anyway, it's also not the end of the world. I probably don't need to chase it all the way right now. Ooh. There's another thing I guess we should fix if we are going to update the sample here is these. Where are these? Doesn't say the line. We should have this say the line. Warning. Oh, it's inside button. That's right. It's inside button. So where do the buttons get made? Right here. Append button. Well, no, that's the right way. What is this? User code. Group property. Group? Oh. Okay, but buttons is a okay. Buttons is a list, and then loop buttons and append. Yeah, this should be B. And then this stuff won't print anymore. That's the new way to use this. So, anyway, I got off track. I don't necessarily need to chase down why the screen's not exact. We can definitely fix it, and the screen is good. This button, though, these buttons can be solid colors, and they can, of course, change when they're pressed, like we're doing here. This one goes from white to black when I press it. This one goes from green to purple, if I can get it to go. Okay, yeah, it's totally the calibration. I just need to go over the button. Yeah, just above the button, and everything is perfect, honestly. So once I fix the calibration, this would be fine. But really what I want to show is, like, these buttons are solid colors. There's a couple different kinds, like the shadow, the square, and you can set the colors, and you can set the borders, and you can do a couple of different things. But that's what you get. Solid colors, text in the middle, one of these couple of shapes, and that's what you can make, which is a lot of things. You can make a lot of neat buttons. With this ability to change the sprites, though, the bitmap on a tile grid, we can make fancy. We can make buttons that look like whatever we want. We can have super fancy buttons. It's a good size. Do we want to go 48? How big are these actual buttons? These ones happen to be 40 tall. Yeah, let's try 48 and see how that looks. So I'm gonna make new image, 48, 48. I'm gonna go transparent. And I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna draw a border. And then inside the border, I'm gonna have a gradient. What I'm gonna try to do is make a sort of chrome-ish looking button with grays, kind of. So I think I can do select all, do rounded. Right, why is this not just pixels? Do this. I can go, what do we want the border to be? Yes. Chrome buttons? This is gonna be like Google Chrome button. Oh, it didn't actually, nice. Something sort of like these-ish is what I'm after. Or these red ones are another good example of kind of the idea I'm after. I'm not gonna like render reflections and stuff into this. This is a bit much. Mostly I'm gonna start with just a gradient. Something like this really is kind of what I was imagining, and will supply for the ability to make it long and narrow. What comes up with gradient buttons? Those look pretty nice too, actually. Kind of like those. Maybe I'll do something like that, actually. Yeah, kind of like some of those. Let's do something like it's teal to green in one state, and it's this kind of orangish, maybe we'll go a tad closer to yellow even, to reddish pinkish. Let me think about this a little bit. So our gradients are going to be on the edges. Our button width is 80. I think I'm gonna make this a little bit wider. I think I'm gonna make my sprite wider. Or maybe we'll try these. Will they look weird if the gradient goes up and down instead of side to side? That's what I was headed for first, was up and down. Let's do a one up and down and see how it comes out. So I'll do actually a white frame. Fill this. Come in a bit from there. 3. Delete that back out. Go back to gradient. Something like this. Okay, so first of all, is it doing that? Are we really just too small, or problem here? Oh, okay. I don't know what that was. Here we go. Any of these make it? Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Enter? How do I... Oh, that was not... Oh, okay. Yeah. Enter was definitely not the way. How do we, like, done? Okay. Okay, so this... Well, we need to go... Indexed. Our edges got a little rougher on the outside because we don't have as many colors to dedicate to the transparencies and stuff. Well, we can't do transparencies at all anyway. We can do blends of different colors, so the transparencies over top of the colors can work, but the background can't, which actually is what we want. This way we won't have to cut out more than one color. We do need to put something in the background. Okay, but we need to go back to RGB first, then do it, then go back to text. No. Bitmap. And so let's make another one. I have an easy way. I can just redo the same stuff, I guess, right? Rect. I just did default. Then I did shrink by 3. Yeah, seems like that'll work. And then I guess let's do like a yellowish, orangish, like this. Thing is, I can't get too close to pink. I can get close, but I can't use full pink. Otherwise, my chroma key won't work. Something like this, I think, will look good. Okay. Huh. We need to go back to RGB. I could, I guess, like, duplicate. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I'll end up saving that anyway, but okay. Oh, why? What was that? I'm not very good at GIMP. Or I should say, really, what it is I just don't use it enough to do all this stuff right. Same thing I did last time. Just click. Move tag. Next. I don't know, we still have some of the blue down there, don't we? I feel like we still got some of the blue. I don't hate it, but so wanted it to be its own one. So let's go here, let's go delete. Actually delete. Now I guess one problem is why we didn't follow the white all the way. Okay. What we're gonna do, these pixels are gonna bother me because they're gonna come through as like a different color than kind of the rest of everything. It's had like a different two. I wish it would just default to white and black basically on this mode instead of shades of. This is like selection editor, but it has this idea of transparency still, so it's like partially selected, or it's selected but only going to get partially filled in. Something don't really want. You know what I should do is save it after I do this with nothing in the middle. Oh, come on. Save it after I do this with nothing in the middle. That way I do have a blank canvas and I could just make more. Okay. We're actually selecting the inside. I basically want to get back to my 2. Oh. And oh, I didn't do it. This back on mode. Let's go to here. Basically want to focus on just one for a minute. We got our gradient in there. It doesn't pick it up so well straight on like this. You can probably tell. But angle it up a bit, you can kind of see it. So one thing I do need to do is still cut out the pink. Means we need to... Ooh. That's tough. I think that that is the background pink, but that's hard. This one's easier to find. Be doing 0 transparent. Yeah, there we go. Now we don't have the pink. That's pretty cool. You can have gradient button. And so let's do like, eventually I think I'll make a class for this, right? I think I'll make a new class inside Adafruit button library that's like, sprite button or something, where it's made to do this. For now though, I'm just gonna kind of hack it away inside of CodePy. So let's grab the touch setup. Try kept all that code from a while ago. Because we should still go PR. Fix this. So, and I already did all the changes to fix it. Be good not to have to redo them. Back to here though. Yeah, no, first actually we wanted the touchscreen. That's how we got back to there. Touch. Basically do a lot of the same stuff as this. But we will not have some of this helper stuff like, oh, we don't have a for list. We don't have a b.selected. We don't have a b.contains. So we're gonna say, let's see here. So else is easy. Let's do else first. Else it's gonna be TileGrid bitmap equals unpressed button. Actually, this unpressed button, unpressed palette, pressed button. No. Pressed Okay, so now we have 2 bitmaps and 2 palettes. So here we're going to go bitmap equals unpressed. So we don't have contains. You know, that would be another potential good thing to add to the core, though, honestly. If TileGrid did have contains, it would be very helpful. Because then you could just make a TileGrid into a button. But it doesn't. So we need the logic, which is... What is the logic? So the logic is a little extra weird because the TileGrid has width and height, but they're in tiles. But then it also has tile width and tile height, which we can multiply. But then there's also XY. So basically, let's start with print P. Because it's a 3-tuple, I think, with right, okay. Like we just ran a touchscreen, but we didn't import it. Okay. Yeah, 3-tuple. So that's what we get from the touchscreen. X, Y, and then pressure. Whoops. So if P0 is greater than the left edge of the tile grid, which is a bunch of things. Tile grid, no, inflated tile grid. We should probably change this too. Change this button or tile grid button, tile grid button. Dot X. Actually, that one's just X. That one's easy, actually. Yeah, that one's actually pretty easy. So if the X of the touch is greater than or equal to touch on the edge, why not? The tile grid X and, so we have a bunch of ands, and P0 is less than equal to this one. This one has more. Tile grid X plus the width, which is basically tile grid width times tile grid tile width. So X location plus the width in pixels, which in order to get, we multiply the width in tiles times the tile width. So if it's greater than the X location and it's less than this, so we want this thing? Okay. And another one. So we just need to do the same thing for Y. So actually that was not quite as gnarly as I was thinking. Y is greater than, and this is basically the same actually, greater than Y here, and P1 less than, okay, we should put parentheses, dot Y plus the height, which is height times tile height. Then we are touching the button, and we're gonna go tilegrid button dot bitmap equals pressed button dot, no, just press button tilegrid button dot pixel equals Rest palette. Why are you unhappy with this? You formatted this. Simplify. How? Yeah, okay. I'm down with that. Kind of long. We're a tad shorter. Not terrible though, I guess. Yeah, save this. Yeah, that should work. And again, calibration is off a bit, so I need to touch above it. Yeah. Oh, I need to do make transparent on this one too. That. Go pressed. Pressed. Make parent. No, 0. This is a function. Do it wrong? Parent. Rest palette. So, unfortunately, my next guess is that I have the palette wrong. It's actually going to be kind of hard to fix. I can tell by doing it this way. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh. Put them back. It went back to the other one. Maybe I should just use a different color. Yeah, I think we just use a different color in this one, right? No sense in really hunting down pink and that being a pain. Let's do this. Let's just go green. I'm not using green. 0, FF00. Full green. Paint bucket. Shift A, paint bucket. Control Z. Control Shift A. Unselect. Back to RGB. Okay. What did we get here, I wonder? Double green. Gradient. Done. Done. Now, back to here. Map. You're kidding me. Why are there why are there 4 greens? There are 4 greens. I could just make my own one of these. Greens. It's that there's still some mostly transparent pictures. All of this stuff. Delete. Delete. But we have, I mean, we did make it so it can take a list, so I could move them all to the beginning and I could pass it a list, but also there should only be one green. Be a lot happier if there just was one green. Definitely full green. Maybe the gradient did it? That trick before to fill. Okay, must have been the gradient, I guess, somehow. That's bizarre. Good to know, I guess, that we can't actually use gradient to do that if we care about the palette. So green is at the front now. Export. This is number 1, yes. It into here. Okay. Copy it. Paste it. All right, let's go back to unpressed here. Let's go back to unpressed here. Let's put this back. Now we should be good. All right, so no corners. Unpressed is blue and purple. Pressed is pink and yellow. I turned off the off this part of the logic. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. So like this gives us the ability to have different like Just any kind of button you can imagine, basically. Almost any kind of button you can imagine. There's still limitations, I guess, but there's far fewer limitations than the built-in display button, because we can have gradients and we can have like bevels and other effects that make things look 3D. Almost want to see, take a look through some of these assets. Probably not going to be icon, but I'm after UI packs. We could use some things like this. Used gray here. Let's see if there's other base pack. Oh, I did one of these actually already. I think I did one of these ones that's kind of like two-tone like this. Oh wow, those are tiny. What these things are. How those get used. This one has transparent buttons. You can't really do transparency in that way. Yeah, I did look through these before. This one has a different. Why? Fish. Make a fish tank game one of these days. Yeah, preview look like? Buttons. Interface. I did a couple of these as well, actually. I did this banner thing. Yeah, I did do some of these. Did one of these ones. I think this one. A couple of these. Maybe I did the pixel ones, I guess, instead of the other ones, but those are quite what I want. Where did I get that Nico cat sprite? There's button sprites on that thing? Interesting. Any K has Nico, but any KO pushes it to the next line. Sprite resources. Any interesting buttons in here? We could even maybe do something like this. Ripped from ripped from a game, but give credit to this person. Power guy. This would be hard to use though because it's got a background and everything. We could do something like these. Not really a pressed and unpressed though. Really the main thing I'm looking for is a set that contains pressed and unpressed. Ones are kind of gradienty like I did. It's closer to what I'm looking for. But it would be nice to find some that are like built with a pressed and an unpressed state. A whole lot of buttons on this thing, I guess. Memorized button. Thing. Bunch of different languages. These ones look kind of cool. They're very small though. You have pressed and unpressed though. I mean, they're sort of gradienty. These are pretty similar in nature to some of the ones we can already do. With the display button, I mean, because they're sort of kind of a little bit gradienty, but not too much. They're pretty close to solid. Really not all that much on here. Right. These are pretty nice. Shutterstock thing. Well, for free. Let's see. Is it free? Thing. Oh. They don't charge like per thing anymore, huh? Subscription. Interesting. Kind of nice. Still not. I mean, I could use two colors, but they're still not really. I guess that's the intention, actually. They have normal, hover, click, and locked. So we'd use unpressed as gray and pressed as yellow. We could do. Yeah, let's give these ones a try. Where do they? Oh, it's Pinterest. It's not... Is it really? Is it maybe gonna? Gamer 2D? Back. Make to most. Image? Hmm. I don't have much patience for this, honestly. If it would just let me use it for real, I would use it. Closer. Need divs on this page. Your image come from? Now, was that really necessary? We really need to do all of that, Pinterest? Really? Next potential hurdle with using one of these is going to be cutting it out. Background. Give it a quick try. If it starts not being very easy, I'll probably just give up on this and maybe look for a different one. Ugh, yeah, that's not going to be... Well, there's a circle? Yeah, okay, do this. We can get it sort of right. No, no, no. Oh, come on. Why, though? Yeah, I don't know. It's not going to turn out very good. It's going to be all weird. How do you spell it? Enter est. That crap out of here. This one's... But this is YouTube. Cool. You actually kind of like those. In the club. Lock to download. Free download? On commercial? Alphabets? Oh. Weird, I've never done a captcha like that. Downloaded them. What do we like best from here? I think this one. Maybe the bottom, maybe the last two. Teal and blue? Unpressed and pressed? It's kind of dark. Like these two? Go yellow? Orange? Gray, I guess, kind of makes sense. Get down, buddy. It does have a lot of transparency in it. Down, buddy. I don't know how this will turn out with the thirds either, truthfully. This one might not inflate very well. Interesting to get a look at it though. I'm gonna go index. This is gonna give me jagged edges for one thing, which is nice. We don't have to worry about transparency on the edges. I think move it to 0. emergency button. Other palette. Let's just leave it the same size. It to the group. Right. Basically, the problem is it needs to be equally divisible by 3. Indexed. Copy everything again. Okay, yeah, the way it does the center third actually makes it end up being a little bit weird. Kind of like that look, honestly, too, though. I will say it looks a lot better. I think it looks a lot better in person than it does through the camera. Through the camera, the top part of the gradient is really washed out. It looks best like that, but honestly, even still, it looks better like directly to the eye. Maybe we'll try to snap a good photo or something that comes through better. Our pink didn't disappear properly. Did we end up changing this? Put this back. one more time like this. Yeah. That's pretty cool looking. That's another thing, like, you can't, I mean, it's not really what I was expecting with the all the little bumplies there, but I actually do like that effect. That's kind of cool looking. That's another thing, like, you just can't do that today with display button. Can't get a button that looks like that. We could push it down. There we go. And so, of course, like, we could go and hook up the touch. I don't have the touch hooked up on that one. This one does, though. But this is pretty cool. This is the kind of stuff I'm excited about. This being able to change the bitmaps on the tile grid. This gives us the ability to make buttons out of all these kinds of crazy things. We could try to flatten that one out somehow so it's not all bumpily. Not sure exactly how we would do that, but basically just cut the try to cut it a bit more narrow, or cut the inside or something. I don't know. I kind of like the bumpily effect, truthfully, too. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the other color of these. This was kind of a lot of steps to get that to come out right, but you can see, like, possibilities here. I could do a second one of these, and then we could create, you know, a secondary bitmap, and we could change it when it gets pressed. Same way we're doing this one here, or the big one here. It really does not do it justice, honestly, coming through this camera. I'll have to snap a video or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it genuinely, it looks a lot better to me in person than it does coming through the camera. Kind of does have that 3D effect going on, where it kind of looks like a, looks like a nice sort of plump button, basically. Like, you could press it and it would depress. All right. I think I'm gonna head out for now. This is basically what I wanted to do, was get this sprite button thing working. I just hacked it together real fast in CircuitPy. But what I'll do eventually is make a new class inside the display button that supports using bitmaps like this. These are basically the 9-patch bitmaps, because it is using the inflator as well, which I need to publish that somewhere also. I think an image load. I think in here. It's not intrinsically tied to this, because we actually saw that we could use on-disk bitmap as well. So, like, it doesn't have to go in this library, but I feel like this is a pretty appropriate place for it. Rather than making a new TileGrid inflator that it's its own library, this one already kind of has code for loading images and manipulating them. I think it kind of would make sense here. So I think that's what I'll do, is probably put a PR to add the inflator to here. Maybe just adding a new file, you know, TileGrid inflator or something inside here. So then you would do from Adafruit image load import TileGrid inflator. And then the API would be the same as what I have. So it just would be, the main difference would just be this. This would be Adafruit image load. Well, no, not quite actually. This up here would be from Adafruit image load import TileGrid inflator, and then this would actually stay the same. I think that'll be the plan. And these fancy buttons will be a way to showcase that. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Bruce. I don't know Bruce's last name, so forgive me, but whatever Bruce's last name is, Bruce is amazing. Bruce drew the deep dive submarine thing, and I have no doubt that Bruce could make some pretty sweet buttons. So that's a good idea as well. We could even get like Blinka on them and stuff. The other thing is you can, you know, you don't have to use the inflator either. You could actually make, you know, rectangular buttons. Like you could use these rectangles as buttons, and you could put text over top of them, and not do the whole like duplicating, stretching thing going on. So that's the other thing too, is like you could design a button that doesn't need to inflate, that just is the button. And this, because of the way we can change the tile grid here, this still gives you the ability to switch between two different images. Porthole button would be a good idea. Alright, so yeah. Thank you, Seagrover. Thank you to anybody else that's watching. I'm going to head out for now. That's kind of the plan, though. I'll end up incorporating this into a display button. We'll have some nice, fancy, customizable buttons available to us because of this, so I think that's really cool. So thank you to everybody who watched, and I'll catch you all next time. I'll be back on Friday is probably the next time I'll be streaming, if I had to guess. Friday evening for the deep dive, so catch me then if you like, and I will see you then.